No one in Maine who has been writing top-notch crime fiction for longer than Gerry Boyle. His first novel about Jack McMorrow, a newspaper reporter in Maine, came out in the early 1990s. He's now out with the 14th and final book in the series. It's called Hardline. And Gerry Boyle is with us here on 207. Good to have you as always. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you again, Rob.
Do you remember what was sort of like going through your head when you sat down more than 30 years ago to write that first Jack McMorrow novel?
I think my goal was to finish it. And so I thought, well, I'm going to start this. I had written short fiction, like the short stories you write in college and that kind of thing, but I hadn't been writing fiction for years. But the stuff that I was seeing in newspapers was so much fodder for this kind of novel in this genre that I thought, well, I could do this.
And you had been a newspaper reporter and a newspaper columnist yourself, so you certainly loved to write. You finished that manuscript for the first novel and you sent it off to various publishing houses or editors. What was the response?
Overwhelming rejection. And so, but all polite. And so every person who rejected it, from I think it was 3 agents and 3 big publishers, had nice things to say, and they had advice as to what I should do to make it better, and they would consider it. But all 6 opinions were very different. And so I decided I would change nothing. And so I changed nothing, sent it to a smaller press here in Maine called North Country Press. And lo and behold, they published it, and then it got great reviews all over the country and elsewhere. And that was Jack McMorrow off and running.
And so you've been writing a Jack McMorrow book roughly every other year now for 3 decades. Why are you ending the series now?
Well, there are a couple of reasons why this is a good thing, I think. And I'm not going to pretend that it's easy. It's like giving up an old friend or saying goodbye to someone you've spent a lot of time with. I mean, Jack and I grew up together in a way, and we enjoy each other's company. And so I think he would feel the same way. And so so it is a little hard, but here are the benefits. One is I didn't want to limp over the finish line someday. The series is going to end, it has to. And so I didn't want to write stale Jack McMorrow novels, and I didn't want them to become irrelevant or formulaic in my head. And so I'd rather go out, if not on top, close to it. And I do think that the last 2 or 3 have been good. I would think so, but I do think that he hasn't declined. I didn't want to watch Jack McMorrow's decline. The other thing is the books are my way. I usually have something to say in each novel, and so it's a little more than whodunit, which I do for the genre expectations. But I usually have something that I want to kind of get off my chest when I start one of these, and if I don't feel that, I don't think the books will be as compelling. And the third thing is, I really want to write other things. I started this and I thought, well, I'll finish it, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll publish it. And then I thought, whoa, they want another one. And so Putnam did a 2-book contract, a 3-book contract, and before you know it, I became a Jack McMorrow mystery novel writer.
You had a commitment and had to keep it going.
Yes.
What do you want to write now?
I'd like to write, well, one thing is that I think I've left a lot of really interesting characters I had on the cutting room floor or dead. In these books, the secondary characters often are casualties. Yeah. And so I would invent a character, spend time with a character, and some of them I was really, really interested in and really fond of. And many of them didn't, make it past page 180, And so I thought, well, what if I could write a short story just about that character and their experience? What if that could turn into a novel that's not a crime novel? And so I'd like to do that just to see what I can do, And so, and I wanted to do it while I still had the energy and capacity to do it.
We probably should talk a little bit about the plot of Hardline, but I don't want to, because I don't want to give anything away. And I have to tell you, I think that this story just crackles. And I think that the Maine setting has never been more vivid. So I know you wanted to be like Ted Williams and hit a last home run in your final at-bat. I think that's what you've done here.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you think so. I think so too.
Good. You should. You should be proud of what you've done, and we look forward to whatever comes in the future. Gerry Boyle, a
Thank
pleasure
you, Rob.
as always. Again, the name of the new book from Gerry is Hardline. We've got more information about it and about him. You'll find it in the 207 section of our New Center Maine website or app. Stay with us. Quick break, and we will return.